My name is Tiffany Shaw. I am 39 years old. I'm a native of Senatobia, Mississippi. I've been here in Tupelo about 25 years. Yeah. I'm a caregiver. I'm a mother of twins, 16 years old, boy and a girl, Chloe and Camden. I love helping people. I'm a people's person, and I love pleasing people. It could be a curse and a blessing, but that's what I love to do. The guy that I was with, we was together for 8 years. We was childhood sweethearts from my hometown. We met back up through Facebook. And we was dating. He was living in Memphis and I was still here in Tupelo, so it was like a long distance relationship for a few months. So after that, he moved down here. It was good in the beginning, and then things changed. We dated for 8 years. It was signs in the beginning, but I ignored them because I felt like I could pray them away. I could pray for him and make things better.
And what signs were there that you saw that you ignored?
Anger issues. It was like small things would make him angry. And I was confused by it because I've never seen that before because I was never around things like that. So it confused me. But I would try to, like I said, pray it away and try to be positive. It didn't work. For instance, he would question me about my past relationships. And if I give him an answer, he would get upset. I felt like it was insecurities and jealousy. In one instance, he was asking me about a past relationship, and we was talking about it, and he got mad and he started choking me. That was the first time. And of course, after he did, he apologized. I accepted the apology. But that was the first of many times that happened. I stayed because honestly, I love him. And it was kind of a manipulation thing. Like if you could leave me like everybody else did. So I wanted to be different from everybody else. I wanted to show him that I love you. I'm gonna be here for you, even though he was treating me the way he was treating me. We went through a lot. He did a lot. Like I said, I did love him and I felt like he loved me. But it was that toxic love.
What kind of things did you all go through together?
Cheating. Women after women after women after women. And I accepted it, and I feel like I accepted it because, let me be honest, my dad died when I was 8 years old. So for me, that was me looking for that love from a man that I really didn't get. And I was scared to lose that. And in some ways, he was a security blanket for me. At the time when we met, I was a single mother, so he would do things and be there for my kids. But it was bad. It was bad, but I tried to block it all out because I loved him. I did. He was doing more. It escalated to him doing more than choking. And the reason why it escalated because it got to a point where I would fight back. And when I would fight back, that's when it got worse. I confronted him about him cheating. And he was upset because at this time, his daughter was there at the house with us. And of course the kids could hear us arguing because I'm questioning him and he's been defensive. So he said, "You gonna ask me these questions, and my daughter is here," and he punched me in my eye. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, because he would be so, like, if you met him, you would think that he's the sweetest person in the world. Like, this guy wouldn't do this. But it was like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing. So when he punched me in my eye, a few minutes later, of course, he apologized. But I'm like, you just hit me in my eyes. I can't hide it. I can't hide it. My kids saw it. Of course, I had to wear makeup to cover it up. But it did. His thing was, it was like, you made me do this. And I started to believe, honestly, you know what, it is my fault, because I shouldn't even confronted him. Because if I hadn't confronted him, then it wouldn't have happened. One night, we went to the store. And I went in I didn't want to go in because he asked me to go in. I didn't want to go in, so I went in for him. And this customer was standing behind me. He was like, "You got something on your back, a string or something." I didn't. I was like, okay. So he got it off. I looked back and he got it off for me. When I got in the vehicle with him, he was like, "Why did you let the man touch your butt?" I was like, "He didn't touch my butt. He was getting something off my back." In the parking lot, he punched me in my mouth. Punched me in my mouth. And I was shocked because he did it in public. But strangely, didn't nobody see it. It's crazy. So when he did that, I looked in the mirror and my lip was huge. So we went home. He went in the house. I didn't want to go in the house because I didn't want my kids to see my mouth like that. So when I went to the emergency room, they asked me what happened. I lied and said that me and my son was trying to catch our dog, and the dog was bucking, and my son's head butted me in my mouth, and that's why my lip was busted like that. And when I came back from the emergency room that night, my son was sitting outside, and he was about 11 years old, sitting outside because they knew what was going on. But I still lied, and I was like, well, I told my children it was an accident, but I didn't tell them the truth. But they knew. They knew. But it was a lot. It was a lot of physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. But I still stayed because I still felt like I could change him. I felt like I could change him.
What things would he say to you verbally?
He would call me a whore. You're dumb. You slow. You act like an old woman. It would get to a point where I didn't want to be physical with him. I didn't want to have sex with him because, like I said in the beginning, he did a lot of cheating. And over time, my feelings started to change. I wanted to leave, but I didn't know how to leave. I had to be smart about it. He would tell me, like, when we did have sex, it's not good. It's not good. Of course it's not good because I'm not into it because my feelings changing, Another incident happened, and we were fighting because I checked the mailbox and a Cash App card come in the mail, right? And on the Cash App card, it says my king. So I'm like, okay. So I know good darn well you ain't got another woman sending you something in the mail. So that means to me, she know where we live. So I took a picture of it, sent it to his phone. When he comes home, he is furious. And we got to fighting. My kids were upstairs, but he didn't know they were upstairs. So as we were fighting, I said, so you gonna do this while the kids are here? All of a sudden, he stopped.
So he would never do it in front of the children?
He would never do it in front of the kids. Okay. But of course, they could hear. Mm-hmm. But when I would go around them, after that incident when me and him got to fight, I went upstairs to check on my kids. And, you know, I had to put on this, I'm okay, I'm good. And when I opened the door to that room, Chloe would never say anything. She would always look at me, but I'm knowing, I could feel what she's thinking. But Camden, he looked at me, he was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. And his words were, Mama, you scare me. And I'm like, why I scare you? He said, because I just heard y'all down there fighting, and you come up here like, ain't nothing happened. And he said, it scared me because I feel like you're going to do something to him. And it got to that point. Where I was praying. I was like, Lord, I want to get out of this. I don't know how to get out of it. I'm scared to get out of it because, you know, when you abruptly move, it's like, I don't want him to kill me. But I got to get out of it because either it's going to be me or it's going to be him. And at this time, I had my kids to go stay with my mom because my mom lived right next door to me. And I had them to go stay with her because it was going on so much. It was going on. We was fighting so much. And I was like, I don't want them to keep seeing this. And it got to the point where it was coming up to their freshman year in high school. Like my kids went through this from the time they were in the 2nd grade up until 8th grade. That's a long time. So I was like, you know what? I don't want my kids to start high school being worried about me. So I was like, Lord, I gotta do something. And I remember one Saturday I went out to eat with 2 of my friends, and I didn't tell nobody at first. So I started eventually talking about it because I was like, if something happened to me, I want people to know what happened. So I was talking to them about it, and my friend told me, she's like, you know what? You gotta do something. And you gotta do it now. So I was like, God, school starts August 4th. I need him gone by August. So, July 29th. Again, I confronted him about another woman that he had been with. And of course he denied it. So he got mad and he was getting ready to go. And I was okay with that. He came back in the house and the tire was on flat. And he said, so you mean to tell me the tire was on flat and you didn't put no air in the tire? I was like, well, I didn't know the tire was flat. I could just put it in there in the morning. And his words were, you know what? I'm so sick of you. I hate you. And every day that I'm with you, I get weaker and weaker. And you don't think about nobody but you and your dumbass kids. And I hate I even came down here. And I looked at him and I was just looking at him as he was talking. So he was like, you don't care, do you? You don't care. At this point, I didn't care because I was tired. So he got up, started choking me, and I promise you, I didn't feel like, it was like I didn't feel nothing. I didn't feel nothing. And I knew then, as he was doing it, as soon as you get done, I'm calling 911. So he got done doing, we got done fighting or whatever. So I was like, I gotta be smart about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I stood up and I hugged him. And me hugging him, that was my way of saying goodbye. So when he left, I called 911. I was getting my clothes together and I ran to my mom's house because, mind you, she stayed next door. And that was it. I didn't go back.